Let's talk about it. Real truth and power. Health. Wealth. Knowledge of self. Uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power. Health. Wealth. Knowledge of self. Uplifting the community. Let's talk about it.
Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. I got a powerful guest today, so you know how we do it. Let's start the show off right.
You are now tuned in to Real Truth and Power, the show that uplifts the community with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Here's your host, Everett Winchester.
All right, peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. Before I get into the show, I just had to go over a couple of things real quick with you guys. If you're in the Baltimore area, my unia-acl organization is having a powerful event September 25th at the Why Not lot. So if you guys can come out, support some black-owned vendors. That's what it's all about. Listen to some powerful live music, get your grub on, eat healthy, and just fellowship, one love with black people getting it together. The event is called Peace and Unity, and we'll be talking a lot about that. Get some powerful information on my organization, the unia-acl, the Universal Negro Improvement Association, African Community League. So hopefully you guys can check that out. I got a powerful guest. So let me bring my brother in and not waste any time. Hold on one second, and here we go. All right, family, peace and blessings. This is Brother Everett. Thank you for tuning in to another Real Truth and Power Live podcast. I'm blessed to have another phenomenal guest. I'm live with Dr. Corbin Smith. Brother Smith, thank you for joining the show today. How you doing today?
Good morning and peace and blessings to you and everyone listening to this stream. I'm doing well. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity for me to be on your show, because I know that, you choose who you want here. So I'm just fortunate enough to be able to be here. So thank you.
Anytime, my brother. Well, you're a powerful brother. So first of all, introduce yourself to the people. Give them a brief background about who Dr. Corbin Smith is.
Okay, well, just get to the point. I get straight to the point with everything. I'm Dr. Corbin Smith. Some people may know me as Sleek or Sleek 410 from my prior work experience that I had before embarking on my doctorate and working in the nonprofit human service industry sector. I actually worked about, I guess you could say, 7 years in the entertainment industry sector here in Baltimore at Radio 1 Baltimore. So if you ever heard of a radio station named 92Q Jams, Magic 95.9, WOLB 1010 AM, I was there and present, whether it was on the board helping out the talent actually during the show, or primarily where I spent most of my time was actually on the promotions team as a street team member. So if you heard any live broadcasts, hey, we down at Bob Bell's car dealership. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
reason you heard it. I'm the reason you heard it. I'm the reason you saw the tents and the entertainment and the sound. And if you ever been I always tell people, if you ever been to Melba's on a Friday, and
Uh-oh.
whether you was in there or you heard it on the radio, I was the reason you heard it. And shout out to Randy Dennis, because he was definitely
Wow.
a big influence on me. So if you're a fan of him, or if he's listening, I want to definitely give him his credit for my career, because he's very influential in it. Him and really all of the personalities over there. Don Black, Pork Chop, Squirrel, April Watts, Tim Watts, I said Randy, Kelson. I interned with Kelson when I was starting out in 2011. Man, so man, I don't want to. Larry Young, I just
Wow.
everybody who's a personality there, I learned something from them wholeheartedly, and I utilized it to this day, or utilizing it to this day.
Well, you dropped a lot of jewels on everybody, so I want you to get into where you're from, because you mentioned 92Q. And if I'm not mistaken, man, I remember Randy Dennis when I was a young kid on I think it was like AM. He had Randy Dennis and the AP crew or something. It was way back
Right.
in the day. He was one of the first ones that introduced rap music, like in the Baltimore. So that was before he went on to like FM and everything. But talk to the people about where you're from, and how that incorporates with the radio stations and what you've been doing.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, East Side, Northeast to be exact. By technicality and geographically, I am a county boy. I grew up in Northbrook Township, not too far from Morgan State University, and not too far from the city line.
That's
But
right.
by technicality, I'm a county boy, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not. However, that was when I was younger, when I was in high school. Before that, Zone 18, 225 East 25th Street. That's where I lived at. It's pretty gentrified at this point in time.
That's right.
But in the early 90s, it definitely wasn't. It was what it was. I went to Barkley Elementary School. I went to Roland Park Middle for 1 year until my family decided to move to Northbrook, and then I had to change my school systems due to that. But my family, everybody is from the city. My grandmother lives off of Garrison Boulevard in the Forest Park area. Um, my mother went to Southwestern, or was formerly known as Southwestern, so she from over on the west side of town.
Okay.
My dad, he went to Forest Park.
Oh,
Grew
okay.
up on Emerson Avenue. So I when I was younger, I lived on Emerson Avenue. I went to St. Bernardine's Head Start right there on Emerson Avenue.
That's my starting grounds. I grew up playing for St. Bernardine's basketball. Went to that
Okay.
church when I was younger. Yeah, that's my mom's church. So yeah, you Baltimore through and through for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. After what was that? And I left for college. I had came back. My mother decided to move out Harford County for a little bit, but then she made her way back. I was about to say inland, like she was on water or something, but she made herself back into the city. Well, not the city, but back into Baltimore County, a little bit closer, over out in White Marsh. So I didn't, man, every city, county, you name it, I lived there. I've been east, west. I haven't north, but I haven't lived in South Baltimore. But I definitely went to summer camp out there, like for
Okay.
years. I went to Cherry Hill Rec Center.
Oh
I
wow.
used
Okay.
to be a camp up there that I went to for about 3 years straight, I would say. So yeah, I don't want to say I am Baltimore, because that would be a little chauvinistic, but I would
You
say
are, brother. You've been around. You are. That's for sure. You are. That's for sure.
yeah. So yeah, that is me in a nutshell when it comes to who I am and where I'm from.
Now, Dr. Corbin Smith, I know you're a doctor. A lot of people that come on the show could be doctors, whether they're educational doctors with the degree, or a sure enough surgeon type doctor. Explain what kind of doctor you are, and what motivated you to become a doctor.
Yeah. So with all transparency, I love to make sure that I'm transparent about my education. So I am a doctor of business administration. On paper, it would say Dr. Corbin Smith, DBA. So I don't have a PhD, and that's because PhDs, they actually create their own theory. What I did was I utilized theories that were already in practice, and I used them to solve a problem that I saw in humanity. So I always say, shout out to the PhDs. They are the real superheroes out
Right.
there. They come up with their own theories and push play and apply them. So, however, it's still equivalent. It's still academically equivalent. And why? Honestly, so my why it's a 3-part why. One is when I was working at an organization called Civic Works, which I actually did my research study on while I was working there. Shout out to them. I appreciate everything that they did for me. Candace Clark, she was my director. She definitely assisted me with being there in the first place. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even been there in the first place. So
Wow.
I got to give credit where it's due. With it, while I was actually serving as an AmeriCorps member for Civic Works before they hired me as staff, full-time staff, I was given a book to read, the autobiography of Malcolm X.
Oh.
And in the end of the book, I think it's Alex Haley. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But It was at the end of it, he had an interview with him, and he asked Malcolm X, what, like most people do once, their careers are flourishing, what would you have done better? Right. Mm-hmm. And he said, I wouldn't have listened to that white grade school teacher that told me that I couldn't be a lawyer. Because with his, what he did with his life, he said he would have made much more of an impact if he was a lawyer. So,
wow.
I didn't embark on law, and I'm contemplating it now, honestly, to be totally honest with you, because he's absolutely right. If you historically look at what has happened in the United States to our culture, a lot of the reasoning that these things were able to happen was through policy, through law, down to us being sheer cattle to housing discrimination, Jim Crow laws, and etc. So that was the second thing. That was the first thing. The second thing was, while I was in entertainment, I realized, can I cuss on here?
You good, brother?
Okay,
you too. You good?
I'm not good. I have a good vocabulary. I can articulate myself, but sometimes
I want you to be straight to the people. Let's do that.
We got too many fucking entertainers, man. As a culture, we got too many entertainers and not enough doctors, lawyers, scientists, and engineers. And if you want to go back historically with our culture, we had a lot of those. A lot of, ancient, not Egypt, but Kemet, if I'm correct. That's all we were. We're engineers and scientists and doctors, and we created things, and to this day that were stolen and are utilized in a lot of foreign policy to this day. So it's in us to be these things, but we were programmed and taught to be other things for, the profit of other cultures. So that's the second reason I did it. And the third reason really is
what?
So I always say this and people laugh, but I wanted to have a legitimate reason for people to pay me to talk to them.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's why I said it last, because I didn't want it to be like the first reason. But it's definitely in the top 3. So I wanted that to be one of the reasons. So yeah, that's why I did it. One, because Malcolm X said he wished he would have become a lawyer or someone of a high professional degree. Second, we don't have enough of us in these positions.
That's true.
And 3, that I'm a business doctor, so I understand. I live in a capitalistic society, and I'm not practicing the Amish, so I'm not out here growing my own foods and catching my own fish and boiling my own water to make sure it's fresh. So I'm practicing capitalism. However, I'm practicing it in a conscious manner, and that's what I do.
Now, I think it's really phenomenal. Before I get into your business and ventures and everything, I just think it's really phenomenal for you to be very educated and take on business. I want you to just elaborate on the importance of our community, Black people, learning about business, starting businesses, and more importantly, supporting Black-owned businesses. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's something we have to do if you live in a capitalistic society. Cash is king in it. One, if a lot of people don't know, labor is very important, and we've been programmed to not believe that. 2020, last year during the lockdown, I had an epiphany where it was like, wait, and I'll use something that's familiar to me in my experience. A bar, right? A bar where you sell alcoholic beverages.
Okay.
Last year, well, bars could stay open, so I wouldn't use that. Let's use a bar and grill.
Okay. There you go. There you go.
You couldn't come in there, you couldn't sit down. So the owner of that establishment was in a deficit because the bank still wanted their money, right, every 30 days, but there wasn't any money generating because there wasn't a labor force in that place. So, and not to say that the private owners aren't important as well, it's just it should be a equal and a mutual understanding on the leverage.
Mm-hmm.
And yet again, like I had said earlier, in the United States of America, Black people, African Americans, if you want to be technical, or people of African descent that were brought over here by not by choice, but by capitalism. We've been programmed to not really understand that leverage, and we've been utilized as cattle. That's how they really looked at us, like
right.
The same way we look at cows.
That's right.
And sheep and lamb. But the difference between cows, sheep, and lamb is they aren't human, so they don't have the free will, the sense of not utilizing animal instincts,
right?
In a sense, so we can do our own thing. Like we're all born self-sufficient. We just get programmed to depend.
That's right.
So we got to support each other just like other cultures do. And to be technical, the Jewish community and the Asian community. I always say to people, I'm like, hey man, you ever seen a homeless Asian person?
No, not really.
Right, because they take care of each other, Like,
I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think I had.
You find one, take a picture and text it to me so I can. But that's because they take care of each other and they create systems and businesses to help each other, whether they're here or they're on their way here, and that's what we need to do with each other. Now, it's two ends to a stick. So I always say support Black business. You should. I've read Dr. Claude Anderson's.
That's my guy.
Book. Yep. Which
one? Powernomics.
There you go.
Powernomics.
Yep. And he had said he had spoke with a Jewish man, and in there a Jewish man told him that if his culture told him if he was to buy any good or purchase any service, to find a Jewish person that makes it or sells it first. And then if you can't find them, then you move outside.
That's right.
So that should be our same practice. Now, due to some psychological things that has happened in our culture, we might look at, if I'm going to another Black person, I'm less than them, and I don't want to feel like that. It's a lot of psychological things behind it, and I'm not a clinical psychologist, so I'm not going to speak on it. but there are some books out there that people can read from clinical psychologists like
Yeah.
Dr. Akbar, that breaking the chains of psychological slavery.
Slavery, yes.
And that's like I read a excerpt on an excerpt was given to me, was read to me about work, and I was like, wow, that makes total sense. And he spoke on as black people in America, we feel that work is punishment, because when we were slaves, the people that we saw that weren't working were living the lavish life, the plantation owner and or his supervisors of the field. So we're working night, sun up, sun down, and we're looking over and we're like, they're not working, but they're living it.
Right.
Man, this work must be bad, when in actuality, you're producing the good or service that's creating this lavish life for them. All they got to do is take it down to the market and sell it. But you plant the seed, you pick the cotton, you put it in a barrel. All they do is take it down to the market on Saturday, and sell it, along with you as well, because black people, we work cattle. So it's the psychological stuff behind it is it can be quite disheartening and saddening when you think about it. But I try to utilize that energy for solving the problem instead of solving the problem.
Right. That's very interesting that you said that, and I'm glad you big up to Powernomics, Dr. Claude Anderson. I just love that book. And you dropped some heavy hitters, Dr. Akbar, and some heavy hitters. So I want to just, make sure we shout them out. I want to go into your business twofold. I want you to talk about your business, and then we can go into 1500 Radio. I'm really excited about that. But talk about Zenith Management and Consulting. What is that, and what do you provide? Maybe some people are into your service, are in need of your service.
Definitely. So Zenith Management and Consulting is a small business development firm, in a sense. It's just me. I don't have a bunch of employees. Honestly, that's not my goal with it. And I coined it small business development because before embarking on entrepreneurship, I did work for others. Like I said, Civic Works. I also I had a personal service contract with the Maryland Department of Labor for about 3 months this year with their opioid grants program. And so I'm well aware of the state-sponsored workforce development programming, and a lot of people don't know that public school system is a part of that as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the public school system really was created to manufacture a workforce for the rich. That's why you had industrialists like John D. Rockefeller really funding the GEB, the General Education Board, in the early 1900s.
Wow.
Because he needed a workforce for his factories.
Right.
Spelman is actually named after his wife.
I didn't know that. You're educating me. I didn't know that.
That's his wife name. So we live in a business, and and nobody's putting up any money in this business without a deliverable or outcome expected.
Right.
So once I understood that and I saw it, I said, okay, what I'm gonna do is utilize this system on a smaller scale, though. And so I'm talking to the people, right? The people that the services I can provide. These are the individuals who are at ground zero.
Okay.
They know that I have this good I can produce, and or the service I can produce. After that, blank. However, they have the want to move in a capitalistic fashion.
Right.
Whether it's for themselves or if they want to start a business and have employees that they are responsible for, whatever they would like to do. But I'm the guy you come to when it's like, okay, what is payroll? How can I do payroll?
Right.
What software programs can I utilize? Um, should I do a LLC? Should I do an Inc?
I
What's
got
a
you.
shell company? What is that? Like that. I'm like, if you know what's going on, I'm not the guy for you.
Right.
I don't want to waste your time because
Right.
you got you got it going on, and I don't want to be in your way. I'm really here for the individuals who are like safe and they're okay with saying I don't know. However, I want to learn.
Right.
So that's what I'm here for. At the moment, I think I tallied this up yesterday. Uh, 4 clients on retainer right now. 4. My most favorite one is the one you brought up, 1500 radio.
Right.
'Cause
Well,
I was
let's get into that because you had me very excited when I first met you. You were talking about 1500 radio. Explain to the people what 1500 radio is, what it's about, and how you're helping them and how you're involved with them.
Oh yeah. So when I left Radio One unexpectedly for to be and say in a nice way in 2018, and I kind of before that I was still I have a recording studio as well. I forgot
Oh,
to
okay.
drop it. So in 2017, a good friend of mine, Tony Bosco, shout out to him, CFB Records, CFBMG Music Group. I
Okay.
did his LLC. I should know better. Um, uh, we tag teamed together and we started a studio called the Core Recording Studio. And his cousin, Phil Turnage, he had 1500 radio right next door. And one day I was in there actually trying to do my doctorate study, and I was I was a little mad because it was loud.
Uh
I'm
huh.
like, man, I'm study over here. I'm paying this man rent, because we was subleasing him because he had 2 rooms. I'm like, man, I'm paying this man rent, man. It's loud, man. So I go next door. I'm like, man, what's going on? I don't call the police. I'm come talk to you first.
Right.
So I go over there. Hey, man, it's a little. And I walk in there, and it's like tons of people, and I'm like, at the time, I'm still working at Radio One.
Uh huh.
I'm doing my studio stuff on the side, and I'm just looking, and I'm like, man, you got a lot of people in here, man.
Right.
And they're all black, and they're
Mm.
all young, and they all like really want to do this. And it was Friday night, so they was having a good time, but it was just like I see it,
Right.
I see it. I'm like, it just needs to be organized.
Mm-hmm.
It needs
More like a
a
business
system.
plan structure.
Yeah, a
Right.
system
Yeah.
that has worked before within the same service industry. So I went to him and I said, man, look, I want to help you. I'm over at Radio One, and I've been there for quite some time. I know the system. I know how the wheel turns over there, and I would like to bring some of that insight over here so we can do it. He was like, hey, man, let's do it. And Phil, he's like that with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And as his consultant, I sometimes I tell him, like, you can't be like that with everybody. But
Right. Right.
he's just that wholehearted of a person that he wants to help
Other
us.
people. Yeah.
So he's like, all right, I'm going to give him a shot. Whoever it is, him, her, they, whatever pronoun you would prefer. The And, he gave me a shot, and I was like, well, I'm going to go with it. So since 2018, I met him in 14
Okay.
because me and his cousin Tony, we did a song together called Fuck Is You Saying. That was the name of the song. Pretty good song, too. Still on YouTube, I think.
Oh,
But,
I gotta check that out.
pretty good song. When you see it and you see me, you're going to be like, wow, that is funny. Squirrel was actually in that music video, too. Shout out to him.
Wow.
Because he has a radio station as well. And
I
since
didn't know
he's
that
black,
either.
and he put me D when I was in there, and he was, feeding me a lot of knowledge. I'm not going to act like he's not black and he doesn't have anything going on. So he shout out to the Hooligan Express Radio.
Uh-oh. So,
Download the
run
app.
that back again. Hooligan Express?
Hooligan Express
Okay.
Radio. Yep.
Ah,
Because I'm
awesome.
not a hater. I don't hate.
Right. But let's continue back on with 1500 because talk about some of the things that they broadcast on there. And I want to say it's very important for us to have our own media, black media for the black community and just a local media to support. But radio can go global, especially now streaming through the internet and stuff. But talk about how they can get to you if they're not local, and talk about some of the platform, some of the things that they're pushing out there as far as music or whatever.
Sure. So just like I was saying about Phil, the owner, Phil Turner, John, we really got that mentality is embedded in the culture. So right now, we got April Watts uh,
Mm,
over there. My man Dirty Rice. I'm just picking people that I know I met at Radio One. There's some other folks over there as well. My man Philly, Lauren, DJ Waters, Bam Bam, Chief the Party Rocker. Uh, there's tons of people over there.
okay.
Um, um, oh, LaDon, can't forget LaDon Black. I gotta,
Wow.
and I would say that one because that's my I'm gonna take that one because I reached out to her for that.
Okay.
So that's that. I gotta blow my own toot my own horn for that one. But the content is really 100% controlled by the talent,
Okay.
and that was something that I didn't see in other media organizations that I've researched or experienced myself.
Now,
It was
elaborate on that a bit for people that don't understand what you're saying when you say it's controlled by the talent. Break that down.
so when it comes to segments, what is said, what you hear, uh, the talent puts that together. There isn't like we do have a program director, and she's from Radio One as well.
Okay.
E. Kane. I met her, Erica Kane, over there. She's the program director. So it is structured in a sense with making sure it's structured.
Mm-hmm.
But as for what is said, yeah, that's solely the talent. The talent, they find the news, they find what they want to say. And excuse me, like I was saying, you're not going to find that in major media now.
No, without a doubt.
Yeah, it's going to be heavily regulated because most of these media outlets are owned by the big three. Um, it's one top dog sending out one message to everybody else, and it's not like that. It's not like that at 1500 Radio. Like the talent really gets to say what they want and feel, and as a talent, like as whether it's music or a radio personality, a podcaster, that's what you want. You want
Right.
that freedom to be creative without regulation and just somebody saying, "Well, you're on my platform, you can't say this," or look, if that's how you feel, do your thing.
I like it.
We'll
I like. Sorry to cut you off. I like what you're saying because, like you say, you're giving the, you're promoting the so-called people that are doing the show, and they're actually doing it the way they want to do it, not having to be controlled by what commercial they play or something like that. I'm sure you have sponsors, but they're able to go beyond that and make the show more about them and their flavor, and that's something that all artists need. And when I say artists, I'm talking about anybody in entertainment. I think that's very powerful. Talk about how they can check out the radio station.
Well, if you have at this point, it's only two people running the cell phone game right now. So it's Apple and Android. So Apple is Apple is your app store, right? I think because I'm an Android guy, so
Okay, yeah,
I
you
know
are.
the Google Play Store for Android, but Apple, you go to the App Store, type in 1500 radio, it's going to pop up. It's a black symbol with like you'll see it says 1500. The zeros are actual like control knobs you will find like on a radio
Okay,
tuner. From the 90s. So you just download it and press play, and it streams automatically. Um, and enjoy, share it, let people know. It's good, man. I like I said, from my preliminary research and experience, it's the artists cannot create, and that's what kills their love for it. I never forget the first time April hopped on the airwaves with us. I guess it isn't the airwaves. I don't know what the electrical wave.
stream
But
or whatever, right?
yeah, she had said she had thought in her mind that she was done with radio
Oh wow,
until she bumped into 1500 radio and saw who was involved, what was going on, and it really like ignited a flame back in her to want to do it. And I'm like, that's what that's what I'm chasing.
right,
I'm chasing the individual who's like, I want to work, I want to grind, and because we're in a capitalistic society, and I'm a business doctor, and you heard what my third thing was, they get paid more.
right. Wow,
So now you getting paid more, and you had the freedom to create what you want. Who wouldn't want to be around?
right,
Like
right,
you wouldn't want to be around. Now, labor, like I said first, these individuals that we have now are okay with working for what they want, right? So it's two ends to a stick. So if you're getting more, in all fairness, that means you should work more. That's just
yeah,
fair.
right.
Like if
That's
you
right.
want to be, so that's where it can get a little topsy turvy with people. But at the end of the day, fair is fair. There's the
Right.
opportunity. You getting more than you would get anywhere else. All the organization is asking you to do is
Work.
work.
Right. Now, somebody wanted to get involved with the radio station. How could they do? They contact you? How could they get in? What's a number, or email, or something that they could do to contact you?
Well, they could contact me because I'm like the MD, like the marketing director, a little bit. To an extent because I help with like the events and things of that nature. So yeah, they could contact me on my Instagram, Dr. Corbin Smith, or you can hit the Instagram page itself because a lot of us have access to it, and I'm always checking it every now and again just to see. Um, or Yeah, those are the only two options right now
You
because we
said
don't
it's
have.
your Instagram is Dr Corbin Smith.
Yep, yep.
I just wanted to make
That's it.
sure I got that up on there for the people so they can hit you up. You
Thank
know,
you.
no, without a doubt, without a doubt. Well, in closing, and you did a phenomenal job. I'm going to download that app today, actually, and start listening to the program and the platform. But I want you to just before you close out, any message you want to give the people. We are in some trying times of trying to get over and move up in the world. Any message you want to tell the people coming personally from Dr. Corbin Smith?
Yes. And transparency. Uh, and you can't take this the wrong, people, because it is what it is. If you live in a capitalistic society, everything is a hustle, and people hear that word hustle, and because of their experience with it or the definition of it, it's taken out of context. But I'll put it in context because I learned that quote from Malcolm X when he was a bootlegger. His distributor was a Jewish guy, and That's what he told them. Everything's a hustle. And if you look at it from that lens, if you want to be more proper or not colloquial, everything's a transaction,
Yes.
right? So in these times, oh yeah, and don't quit, and know that labor is leverage. You know, everything's a hustle or a transaction. Labor is leverage, and don't quit, because the day you quit is the day it's over.
That's right. That's right. That's awesome. Before I close out, I wanted to also just talk about your business, and if anybody needs some consulting, if they're a small business, because what we do at Real Truth and Power, we push entrepreneurship hard. We're about to do a couple of free classes on our website, helping entrepreneurs, little tips, not the shebang, but little tips to get them started. Talk to the people about any tips about being an entrepreneur and how they can reach you if they want more help.
Yes, so you can definitely reach me at that Instagram, or my phone number it's 443-857-6774. But definitely if you hit the Instagram, the phone right here. Somebody hitting me now, so it might be because of you. um, so yeah, and a tip I would say is I read this book called How to Speak Money. I actually was a bank teller too for about 6 months when they had like the furlough loans going on.
Oh wow.
Bank teller, yeah, man. Like I didn't put everything on the resume, but if I told you everything I done, you'd be like, wow, this man really did everything on this. But I read a book while I was at that institution, that credit union, from the library that it had, called How to Speak Money.
Okay.
And in there, 3 questions that the authors asked individuals to ask themselves if they wanted to find out what they wanted to do for their lives so they could make a living and still be satisfied. 3 questions. What do you like to do? What are you good at doing? And what would someone pay you to do? And you really got to think about those 3 questions. Like, you can't just be like, because I was another position. I was a case manager over at Cityworks. So like I would have these one-on-ones with clients all the time, and that I would use those questions, like, because at that time they might be in a construction program and they find out they don't really like working with their hands that much. That was just what somebody told them they might like to do, but they never really ask these 3 questions to themselves to go like, am I just doing this because somebody told me it was a lot of money in it, or am I doing it because I like it, I'm good at it, and someone would pay me to do it?
Right.
So yeah, that would be my tip.
I love that. Something that you like to do because you want to get in a field where you're going to be happy. You're not coming home miserable. Something that you're good at, because you might not be good at what you like to do. You got to get paid. Like you said, this is a hustle. And something that people will pay you for. What kind of service is in demand? What can people need? So, man, that was powerful, Dr. Corbin. Definitely powerful. I mean, I want to thank you for blessing the platform. Hopefully we can get you back on. We got some heated debates coming up and stuff like that. It's going to be some interesting things. And we just want, a lot of people from different aspects of life to tune in and give their input. But I just want to thank you personally because I know you're out there grinding. And if anything we can do on our end, as well as what our organization, the UNIA and Real Truth and Power, just let us know. We got your back 100%.
Definitely. I appreciate it. And, I read about the UNIA, and then when we met at the event, I was like, yeah, I got to go there.
Yeah.
Because, like, when it comes to alignment and purpose, like, it's there.
Yes.
And one thing I loved about the Honorable Marcus Garvey was he wasn't afraid to go to court and defend himself.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm like, that's because, they always say, get a lawyer. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I think he pretty much beat the case. I think Edgar Hoover was like, you gonna let the tiger go? Like, you
Right.
gonna let him go? So yeah, it's good. It's good to it's good to keep his philosophies and opinions alive and well. And again, brother, I thank you so much, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody who's listening.
All right. I want to thank Dr. Corbin again. That was just a powerful, powerful show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Man, we got another show coming up, hopefully this week. I'm not sure, so you guys got to hit that subscribe button. I got my man, first vice of the UNIA, Brother Jay Rich, and he's going to be talking about the vaccine. He's going to be coming with some facts. I already reached out to my queen, Dr. Ma'at, and I asked her, could she get Brother Ankh from the Amara squad to, so they can have a discussion. I couldn't set it up, but Brother James is going to come on. If he comes on with some facts, he's going to be sharing that screen. If he comes with some facts, I'm gonna try to get Brother Ankh on here to the I don't like to do debates. I like to have intellectual conversations. So that would be great. Maybe he can one of them can beat each other up with the knowledge, as they like to say. So you guys got to go over to our YouTube, hit that subscribe button, because YouTube will alert you when we go live. That's our main format. We still streaming on Facebook, but not as much. Sometimes I don't even stream on Facebook, but definitely check us out. And again, I want to put this event in. If you're in the Maryland area, come on over September 25th at the Why Not lot on North Avenue, North and Charles. We're going to have some vendors, live music. It's going to be a safe place. We're going to have our African Legion out there protect you. It's a peace and unity event. So you guys got to come out and show the unia-acl some love. If you haven't been to our events are always top notch. It's good for the community and we do it right. So definitely come out and check us out on that note. And again, thank you for Dr. Corbin Smith for allowing, for blessing us with his knowledge. Please go to the app stores, your Google Play, whatever it is. Like I said, I use Apple. So go to your app store and check out 1500 Radio. So now it's not, you don't have to be local to listen to a local show. You guys could be all over and check out some powerful DJs, some powerful music, some powerful info that we are playing. Shout out to our Prez, Brother Kajana, Caesar Kajana, UNIA president in the house. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, hit that YouTube subscribe button, and again, stay tuned, because this show coming up are black people being irresponsible for not taking the vaccine. As you know, they say Cam Newton, one of the major reasons Cam Newton was let go was because he didn't take the vaccine. Should we trust the scientists? Should we trust the knowledge? Are we still panicking? And to be honest, black people have been getting hit harder with the COVID. So this is going to be a very intellectual conversation I'm going to have with him. And if he drops some knowledge, I'm going to try to get my brother, my sister, Dr. Ma'at, to bring on some guests to have an intellectual conversation. So you guys got to stay tuned. Again, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for all that you guys have been doing and supporting us. Everybody's been asking me about the game show. Before I go, we are going to do the game show again, but the game show is a little hard because we got to get questions, and a lot of times people don't want to come on because they feel intimidated. Even if we make the questions, a little bit not too hard to answer. But I want you guys to have faith, and we're going to maybe even do some more younger kids, so we can have younger kids learning about the knowledge and showing that intellectual value. So that would be cool too. So definitely come through and hit that like button, because we got a lot of things coming up. Man, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know how we do. We are out of here. Race first, family. Race first. UNIA Division 106, barca-clarke, realtruthandpower.org. We out.